Tell me, what's all this commotion about?
It's the Denton and Sasquatch Show.
This place is half talk show, half weird daycare. I love it.
Reports of strong interference with radio.
Here we go.
Hello and welcome once again to the Denton and Sasquatch Show, the first show of 2018. We are definitely glad to be here. At least I know I am. Sasquatch, how about you, Denton? You happy to be here?
Man, you know it. I wouldn't be anyplace else. Unless I won the lottery, then I'd probably be anyplace else.
I think that makes two of us, but that's understandable.
Yeah. We'd have better gear.
Yeah, we definitely would. Well, you know, it's been a while. We kind of took a week off there for the holidays and stuff. Anything exciting happening with you?
Now, before we go any further, I would like to point out that if you want to hang out with us anywhere else but here, you can always go to prepperforums.net. That's where people who are pretty sure that we are doomed and are going to drink up, but first they're going to get ready for the party at the end of the world, we all go there. Hey, look here, if you like guns, and who doesn't like guns other than sissies and Democrats, if you want to hang out and talk about pistols, and some other guns as well, go to taurusarmed.net.
Isn't that kind of redundant? Sissies and Democrats?
I suppose it is. My bad. But now, if you don't want to go to taurusarmed.net and you don't want to go to prepperforums.net, and I don't know why unless you're just a sissy or a Democrat, and you want to tell us how bad we suck, go to, what is it? It's been so long, 2 weeks. Denton and Sass Show at gmail.com. That's Denton and Sass Show at gmail.com. I don't have to read your complaints, but Sasquatch does.
Well, we don't get too many, so.
Well, good. But I guess we're okay then.
They're definitely welcome, though. We'll take them if you got them.
Yeah. And if you got anything you want us to read on the air, please feel free.
Yes, sir. I ended up getting a little sick, kind of getting over a little bit of a cold myself, so.
Yeah, I heard you had Ebola or something.
Yeah, I was bleeding from my eyes.
Well, that flu that's supposed to be going around is kicking a lot of people in the butt.
Yeah, I heard it is. I heard it's really doing some people in, literally.
Well, at least, yeah, DED dead. And at least you didn't get that. At least it was just a cold.
Yes, sir. Taking my vitamin C.
We've been freezing here. I've been running a propane heater every night to keep my lemon trees from dying.
Well, that sucks.
Tell me about it.
As I sit here in a pair of shorts and flip-flops.
Well, I am too, but I'm not outside.
Well, you know what? I mean, I hate the cold, so that's one reason I don't live in it. But I do feel bad for you guys because it does suck when it gets really cold like that, and you got to protect your trees and your crops and your animals. And
what do you know about the cold?
what do I know about the cold?
That's what I said.
Well, it's not like I've never been in it. I just don't enjoy being in it.
Ah, okay.
I mean, I spent a Christmas in Connecticut one time.
You were in the cold.
And it was very nice. It was cold, but it was nice. But I wouldn't want to do it every day.
Yeah. Well, here in Alabama, we don't do it every day. As a matter of fact, we'll probably have 3 weeks of cold, and then it'll be just kind of chilly, and then we'll be back to blazing. It'll be humid blazing, but blazing.
Yeah, I mean, now that it's January, February here in California, it can get pretty cold. I mean, for our standards, especially if we get a wind blowing. But if I want to see snow or anything, I got to go up into the mountains, which I don't mind doing. A couple days, that's fine with me. I just wouldn't want to live in it every day.
Well, I can understand. Well, all right. Hey, let's jump on into this show.
All right. Well, glad to see that Slacktivism is alive and well in 2018.
Slacktivism, slackers, union members. I'm one of those.
Well, sort of. Slacktivism, here's the definition of it. Actions performed via the internet in support of political or social cause, but regarded as requiring little time or involvement. So the
political message boards.
Yeah, well, the perfect example is when the terrorists shot people up in Paris, everybody changed their Facebook pictures to "We support Paris." Okay, well, that's great, but it doesn't do anything. That's slacktivism.
That scared a lot of terrorists.
Yes, I'm sure they saw the pictures on Facebook and thought, "Oh, we cannot do this any longer." Oh, wait, that's an Indian guy. That's not.
I was about to say, are the Indians attacking us now?
No,
My
he's in the
gosh.
juice. Anyway, Slacktivism. The reason I bring this up is because probably right now, going on right now, the Golden Globes, one of those stupid award shows in Hollywood, they decided that they're all going to wear black to the show in solidarity over women being attacked and assaulted and that whole Me Too thing and everything, which it's not on the internet, but that is total slacktivism.
Okay, so they're against women being abused?
Well, yes, that's what they're saying. But not only is it slacktivism, it's hypocrisy. Let me read the first part of this little thing I pulled up here. The highly anticipated Wear Black protest at the Golden Globes got off to an early start Sunday on the red carpet with Hollywood A-listers, including Meryl Streep and Michelle Williams, arriving with gender and racial justice activists as their guests. Streep, nominated for her role in The Post, walked the red carpet hand in hand with justice activist Agin Poe as the stars protested sexual harassment in Hollywood and across the world. Michelle Williams arrived in an embellished off-the-shoulder look with Me Too founder Tarana Burke at her side. All right. Shut up, Hollywood. Because... Wait, what?
Did they mention how the Iranians are trying to stand up and stop being tormented by other people?
No, but I'm sure they're wearing a yellow ribbon for that or something.
Well, how about how the Saudi women can't do anything and they only count for like as if they're one half a person? Did they mention that?
Well, no, they didn't. At least not in this article. But no, I mean this is slacktivism, and it does absolutely nothing. And the hypocrisy is, the whole Harvey Weinstein thing, everybody's like, oh, I didn't know what happened. Nobody knew that. Bullshit. They all knew. And Meryl Streep knew. She was really good friends with the guy. And so she's walking the carpet with this racial justice activist in her black dress. Not to mention, when I looked at this article, the pictures of all the celebrities, they're all wearing super low-cut or see-through gowns. So,
well, they're just asking for it.
Well, and that's what a lot of people say. Oh, well, just because a woman dresses this way doesn't mean you can attack her. Well, of course it doesn't. But you're trying to say don't attack women. Don't dress like that.
Okay, just for clarification, you said all of them are wearing see-through, low-cut dresses.
Well, many of them, not all of them.
Were they all women?
All the ones I saw, yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm sure there's a few guys wearing low-cut see-through dresses, too. It's Hollywood. Come on now.
Yeah, you got a point. He may not know if you got Caitlin.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, I really don't have a point to this or anything. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that slacktivism is alive and well in 2018, and we'll probably see tons more of it.
So, in other words, we don't know how to wrap up the segment.
No, not really.
Well, while that is very important, and I'm glad that the Golden Globers, Golden Goobers, are doing their part to do nothing except for really piss everybody. Who watches the Golden Globes?
I couldn't tell you. I haven't seen an award show in probably 20 years.
I haven't either. Well, I'll tell you what, I did read something today, and it's from King World News.
Oh, my favorite.
Now, yeah, I'm sure it is. I usually don't ever mention King World News, never posted it anywhere. But this I found very interesting. This is written by a fellow named Dr. Stephen Leeb, L-E-E-B. The gist of this is that he wanted to look at what's happened in 2017 and what's happening in China and what we can expect in this year, maybe the next year or whatever. And he brought some very interesting points, I thought. You may not think that, and that's okay. There's the liberal channel somewhere down the road. April's Mar-a-Lago Trump President Xi, did you say his name is Xi?
Xi.
Oh, Xi. Xi, bless you. XI, the president of China. They got together, and if you recall, they're having dinner and doing that, and then U.S. military sent missiles in Syria at an airport there to blow up some stuff because of that chemical bomb
attacks.
Yeah, and the significance of that is, according to you're going to have to help me remember this guy's name, Dr. Stephen Leeb. Dr. Leeb He thinks that the significance is that China, or while China was over here, Russia had a hand in the chemical attack to provoke a response. Know that the U.S. warned Russia of its missile attack on the airport before it happened, and I don't believe North Korea would have acted without permission from China. It suggests coordination between China and Russia aimed at distracting Trump from raising trade issues with China, and he didn't do it. So trade issues were not brought up. Russia and China are working together. Good point on North Korea. China always acts, well, that's like our little crazy cousin over there. We don't know what to do with them any more than you do. Really? Well, then we're going to stomp his little ass. Now, if you do that, we're going to stomp your ass. Well, wait a minute. This needs to be dealt with. Yeah, but we just don't know how to do it. Well, how about if we have some embargoes? Certainly, I'll go along with that, but never mind us while we give them some oil under the table. Well, no. If that's be the case, we have to stomp your ass. No, we'll stomp your ass. So see, this is insanity, but this is what's been going on. Now, something else to point out. During Trump's November visit to Beijing, they had that big old pomp and circumstance type pageantry going on there, and all the marching soldiers, which was very impressive. That was a bunch of soldiers and some very new hardware that they have. Mm-hmm. They've been putting some money into their military. I find that interesting.
Yeah, just a tad.
Going to go back to that, but I want to hit on these other things real quick. MIT study of U.S. shale, that would be shale oil. Try that again. MIT believes that the oil production from shale is going to be piddling out. So the sweet spots already have been disproportionately drilled and fewer remain. This means obtaining oil from shale will become increasingly expensive and less productive. What does that mean? You remember that big gold oil rush a few years ago? Man, we're going to dominate the markets and all this kind of stuff. Well, this is going to start slowing our markets down in the oil. We're not going to be the big guys we thought we were going to be, assuming MIT is correct. But there's supposed to be smart people at MIT. We'll find out.
Well, a lot of them support global warming too, so.
Never mind that last piece that I just got finished saying. Here's another one, though. China bans on trading cryptocurrencies. China doesn't want the Chinese people putting money into cryptocurrencies because it's a potential bubble and it could undermine the economy.
This is Bitcoin, things like that, right?
Right. However, it allows them to mine cryptocurrencies.
Well, how do you mine something that isn't real?
With an imaginary pick.
Well, I'm going to get into that then. I can sit around pretending I'm mining something that isn't real if it makes me some money.
Yeah. Well, the significance, according to Dr. Lieb, is by permitting continued mining, China is letting miners gain valuable experience in creating the blockchains that are associated with cryptocurrencies. The motivation is that blockchains will be essential in facilitating a new gold-backed monetary system. Okay. Well, as you pointed out earlier, before we started rolling, haven't they been talking about China starting a new
currency? Yeah.
Currency.
Yeah.
Based in gold. Yes.
Yeah.
They have.
At least 5 or 6 years that I can remember.
Well, one of these days, buddy, they're going to smack us upside the noggin. That's not going to be funny. And where are we going to be there? But all this stuff, they're getting their act together.
Yeah.
Now,
sounds like they're getting their ducks in a row.
December, Bloomberg reported that sometime earlier, China and Saudi Arabia had begun conducting some trade that was being recorded on blockchains. No, I don't know what a blockchain is.
Neither do I.
But it sounds pretty dire right there. So Russia and China, not Russia, Saudi Arabia and China are doing some kind of hanky and panky on blockchains. That sounds very, what do you call that when you're into bondage?
Bondage?
It just sounds bad.
Oh, S&M?
S&M, blockchains. Anyhow, what do I know? So Saudi Arabia and China are doing this. Now, the thing that here we're talking about oil. And then we're talking about a new currency, and we're talking about China and Saudi Arabia. Now, Saudi Arabia is instrumental in the continuation of our petrodollar, which continues to make sure we have a middle class. Either if it wasn't for the petrodollar, there'd either be the very rich and the rest of us just starving out there. So, and this is what it's looking to me like China's looking to do, which is put the smack dab on us. Now, another thing they do, they understand the whole, was it Sun Tzu, the lying in warfare.
Yeah.
They try to make it sound like they're not that strong in their GDP growth. They said they were like 6.8%. Well, the nonprofit Massachusetts-based organization National Bureau of Economic Research figures that their 2015 GDP fourth quarter was 10%. That's a little bit stronger. No,
well,
10%.
They're doing the same thing with the global warming stuff. I mean, they're saying, oh, we're backing off on coal. We're not going to mine as much coal and use coal, but they're doing it in Pakistan instead. So yeah, they're good at lying.
They're very good. Now, here's another thing about the economy. Bloomberg study on Chinese corporate debt. Bloomberg saw that 4,000 major Chinese corporations showed debt levels had fallen dramatically in 2017. To assess the company's leverage, the study looked at the ratio of debt to earnings before interest, expenses, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. A ratio of 1 would mean that the cash company nets before all that equals a company's entire debt load. Such a company offers great safety. It's nearly inconceivable it would go bankrupt. After a decade in which the ratio for the 4,000 companies oscillated around 2, it dropped sharply in 2017 to 1. So those Chinese corporations are extremely strong.
Yeah, and not to mention they own a lot of property, land around the United States. So that's never good.
Yeah. So we're kind of looking, but it's not all. Well, actually, it is that, and it's even worse. Confirmation China will start trading an oil benchmark in January in the Shanghai Free Trade Zone. This event actually didn't happen in 2017. Bloomberg reported it 4 seconds after midnight on 2018, but I'll cheat by 4 seconds, he says. The significance. I've long predicted that an initial step on China's path to a reserve currency underpinned by gold would be China launching an Eastern oil benchmark. It would begin to be traded in yuan, supplanting the dollar as a currency for oil trading. See, again, all this stuff is kind of tying together, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where Saudi Arabia comes in, for sure.
Yeah. And how they're going to kick the stool out from under our feet, and we're just going to be dangling there. Moving trade to the yuan, backed by gold, and then to a basket of currencies that includes both the yuan and the gold. Trading an oil benchmark in the Shanghai Free Zone is enormously significant because traders within that zone are permitted, in contrast to elsewhere in China, to take gold out of the country. It perhaps the clearest sign that China is moving quickly to free itself of the dollar. So everybody is talking about, well, no, China's never going to harm the American economy because it's so important to them and all that kind of crap. Really? Looks like they're kind of disconnecting from it.
Well, and let me throw something in here real quick, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
I don't remember exactly, but I remember a few years ago, wasn't there a story about Germany and a bunch of other places taking their gold from here back to their own country?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's what popped into my head here, thinking that maybe they all know something we don't know.
Something like we're just a walking dead carcass?
Pretty much.
That doesn't make me very happy, I've got to tell you. However, let me click this one out, bap, and then I'm going to go over here. Let's get some more bad information. Now, that's the economic side of China. That's not the only side. As we know, they've harassed us militarily for years now. You remember that spy plane that they damaged where it had a PL in China?
Mm-hmm.
And they held the plane and the people hostage for a while there. Gave the people back, but they kept the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's just one example. We could go on, but this is from the World Post. China's expansion in the South China Sea, a return to great power politics, while ongoing campaign against the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria and the looming threat of Russian intervention in Ukraine have understandably captured the attention of most U.S. foreign policy observers. Recent events underscore that the most important long-term challenge confronting the United States remains the rise of China, not North Korea, not Iran, China. Specifically, China's activities in the South China Sea is troubling and could have long-standing implications for peace and security in the Western Pacific. Now, why would that be? Well, you know where the Spratlys are, the Spratly Islands?
Yes. It's a launching pad for us.
Yeah. When they've been building those artificial islands out there, all it is just building up some reefs, and they have turned that into military sites, basically little, kind of like England, it's an immobile aircraft carrier. And then they say, well, this is part of our territory. This is hundreds of miles from China. You don't claim part of your territory hundreds of miles away after you build it. Say, okay, well, this is us, then that's ours, and of course everything in between is ours. Y'all stay out. Meanwhile, we allow foreign fishing vessels to pillage the Gulf of Mexico. But they're grabbing as much as they can. And what have we done? Not much of nothing. So they have us by the economic boo-boo, and they are building their military presence in that whole region there. And you're thinking, well, big deal, it's their region, not ours. Yeah, okay, kind of, except for we've really invested a lot over there.
Well, and they're pushing their borders out, too.
Yeah. Now, that's got to be making Japan really nervous. As a matter of fact, of course it is. They've been pushing back on wherever China and Japan have issues as far as territory is concerned. What's little Japan going to do?
Call us.
Don't know. Call us, yeah. Getting tired of being the world's policeman now. Now, South Korea and North Korea is supposed to be talking a little bit now because Trump says it's because he pushed them into wanting to do something. I don't know, it could be, but China is growing over there. The point of the matter, they're growing. Their influence is reaching out further. Places like Vietnam, the Philippines, they're feeling the effects of a bigger China. Now, what are they going to do? Are they going to up and go to war with China? I don't think so.
Not by themselves, they're not.
No, not at all. Not by themselves. They can't do it. So we're getting in a position where we're not going to be able to do much of anything unless we just want to light the real big candle, the nukes. And that's probably not a good idea because thank you, Bill Clinton, for letting the Chinese have nuclear technologies and the delivery system technologies.
Oh, yeah.
You got to love the Democrats. Anything for $1. And they say the Republicans are that way. So now China is in the process of building their third aircraft carrier. You remember not just a couple of 3 years ago, you read on the internet about something about China, and then you'd read the little comment section, and people always say, yeah, it's just the Chinese. Their stuff ain't going to be fit for nothing but carrying rice or something like that. They're getting a lot better now. And they're building another aircraft carrier. After Obama's been throttling back on us, China's continued to move forward. Thank God we got Trump, but is it going to be in time? And are the rhinos and the Democrats going to let Trump get anything done that way? I don't know. But they're now building their largest, they started construction on their largest amphibious ship, their assault ship.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be huge. Now, why are they doing all this?
Sounds like they're getting ready for something.
They must be now. If they have nothing to be concerned about with us, I mean, when's the last time you heard of America going and stomping the crap out of China? After all, we need our cheap sneakers.
Yes, we do, and our cheap cell phones.
That's right. Now, especially me, because I break them every other month. Now, they are building their military up for one reason, the same reason why we built our military up, so that we could be the major global influencer in the globe. While we're falling down nowadays, they're building up, and they're seeing themselves as not taking the baton from us, but snatching it out of our hands, taking our hand with it if need be.
Well, and the currency thing goes right along with that. So yeah, it seems like it's all tying together pretty nicely for them.
Yeah. So like King World News, like I said, I don't usually bother with King World News as far as passing on to anybody, but that one was well written. And you look at that, and you look at the their expansion that they're pulling off there, and the way they're redoing their military, they're modernizing it, they're building onto it. You know, you just got to say, wow, thank goodness America is here to stand strong, because we are morally convicted to do these things, to stand strong and to be the shining city on the hill and all that kind of stuff. Here's what's happening in America. This is from naturalnews.com. Parents sound alarm over mad rush toward transgender children and the progressivism that pushes this distortion. I bet they don't have a problem like that in China.
I'm guessing they don't.
A mother from New York is taking a bold stand against the LGBT mafia and its relentless and demonic war against innocent children. Christy Sisson says that transgender activists and its youth-centric indoctrination agenda ultimately led her daughter, Danielle, to want to transition into being her son. And Christy is not going to stand for it. But she's not going to have... She's not going to be able to do anything about it. You know, but they took this kid, they went from New York, they moved to, of all places, North Carolina. And the kid told the mother, hey, I want to be a boy. I want to be your son. And so, of course, she snatched the kid up. She takes it to, to a counselor. Counselor swears up and down on a stack of whatever freaky counselors swear on that they will not push her into transtescularism. Guess what they did?
Pushed her into transtescularism.
That's what they did. So the system said, enough of this. We're going to go to a different counselor. What did that counselor do?
Probably the same thing. Probably the same thing.
Yeah, but did it even quicker. Within 30 minutes was pushing it on the kid.
Wow.
Yeah. In the fall of 2016, things got really ugly as Danielle informed her parents that she wanted to start dressing like a boy and would soon pursue surgery to become a male. This took Danielle's parents totally off guard, as they were unaware at that time that Danielle was being so innately influenced by her new friends. And that's what, when they moved down to North Carolina, again, North Carolina's in the South. I didn't know we were that far stupid down here. I'm not that far up. I'm down here in Alabama where people are a little bit more sane. But when she moved down, of course, she was in a different area, had no friends and everything, was looking for a place to fit in, and she fit in with the trans-testicle people. And this is where this little ball got rolling. Little ball got rolling. Anyway. So this is what's going on. Now, her little group has even got a little pay fund going up where they're collecting money to help her get this. She wants a mastectomy and a hysterectomy.
Why didn't she just go to jail and have the state pay for it?
Or in the Army.
Yeah, or the Army. There you go.
So, you know, this is, I was looking at this other stuff, what China's doing and how they're going to be influencing the world and taking our influence away from us. And I just happened upon this little thing right here. This is what's going over there, and over here, we can't even protect our children from perverts.
So China's making its military bigger. They're positioning themselves to dominate currency in the world. And in America, we can't decide which bathroom we should go in.
Exactly.
Maybe we deserve to be doomed.
You know, I've said that so many times it's not even funny, but I just always, after I say it, I think, God, don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. Okay? Please protect us the best you can. But how do you protect somebody who is hell-bent for leather to cut this off and sew that on?
I couldn't tell you.
So, you know, I'm drinking water. I'm about to start going back to drinking booze.
I tell you what, when we finally do get attacked, and if I'm still alive, I'm just going to walk around kicking liberals in the balls. That's all I'm going to do all day long. I'm just going to kick them in the balls and go, that is for making us be in this position right now.
That's a good idea. You know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run to the Russian front. Because I like the Russians a lot better than the Chinese.
That's true.
Unless you Chinese are taking over this side of the country, then I like you guys a lot more. I love House Special Chicken Lo Mein. But I'm going to go up there and say, hey, look, guys, I used to be a corrections officer. I was military police. Allow me to be in charge of the internment camps. When they come through, Democrat or Republican? Republican. Chuck Norris is my hero. Okay, you go over there. Democrat or Republican? I voted for Ron Paul. That's when he's going to get his first punch in the face. Did I say Ron Paul? No, not Ron Paul. What's his name? Sanders.
RuPaul.
No, Sanders.
Bernie Sanders?
Bernie Sanders. Why did I say Ron Paul? Well, that's because I voted for Ron Paul. That's why. I voted for Bernie Sanders. Yep. Sorry. Okay. Well, look here. That's about all for my rant and rambling. You're supposed to, if you bring up these kind of complaints, you're supposed to follow up with solutions. That's what everybody says. Don't make a complaint unless you got a solution.
All right. Here's the solution. America, knock it off.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Have you ever heard of a lady named Betty Jane Willis?
Betty Boop Jane Willis?
Not Betty Boop. Betty Jane Willis.
No, I don't believe I have.
Well, she was a soul singer in the 60s. Let me play a little bit of her music here and see if you've ever heard this. So that's just a snippet of her song. Have you ever heard that song before?
I'm glad you just played a snippet because I like the 60s music. I do. But that voice, nails on the chalkboard. Sorry.
Not a big fan of Take Your Heart by Betty Jane?
I'm thinking not. Never heard of her before. Never heard that song. Don't want to hear it again.
Well, I mean, she was one of those people that didn't have a huge career but had a big career for a very short time. Anyways, the reason I bring this entire thing up is she ended up moving to Santa Ana here in Orange County of California to pursue her career because it's close to Hollywood and all that kind of stuff. And she did a few things here and there, but never really made it. So she ended up being homeless. She wasn't your typical homeless. She lived in her car, so it's not like she was sleeping on the street.
How old was she?
She was 76.
76. That's pretty old.
She raised her daughter. It says here that she ended up homeless on purpose. She decided to live in her car, I guess, because she just didn't have any money or anything. She did it of her own free will. But anyways, a 22-year-old transient was charged Wednesday, January 3rd, with killing and attempting to rape 76-year-old Betty Jane Willis, who was the 60s pop star. His name is...
Look, I didn't like her money. I didn't like her music, but dang, it wasn't worth that.
Well, exactly. Ricindo Zoe Peck, 22 years old, of Santa Ana, was arrested at 4:15 a.m. Monday, shortly after the slaying of Betty Jane Willis, who was found dead in a commercial parking lot. Police believe that the victim did not know the suspect. Peck is accused of removing Willis's blanket and attempting to rape her. Prosecutors say that when she began to scream, he started punching her in the face. Now, remember, this is a 76-year-old woman. Punching her in the face and choking her to get her to shut up. Unfortunately, the police arrived in time where this guy took off running, and they ended up catching him. But the kicker here is 22-year-old illegal immigrant, so he is a dreamer.
22-year-old illegal immigrant commits murder. Is Jerry Brown going to wait until he gets into prison to let him out, or is he going to just go ahead and waive the charges right now?
Probably going to waive him pretty quick. Oh, I'm reading here. She ended up working for the Postal Service. She was a postal deliverer. That's what she did after she was a singer, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I heard about this story and I looked it up online. It took me probably going through 10 different websites until I found one that actually said this guy was an illegal. So they left that out of the article.
Which one are you reading from that said he was an illegal?
You know what? I don't have it here because I copy and pasted this into a Word document, so I don't know. I don't remember which one it was, but all of them that I went through, they left out the part about him being an illegal because, of course, they don't want the illegals to look bad. But I just I don't like talking about this because it's a shame and it's sad this lady had to lose her life this way. But I want to talk about stuff like this because the other papers try to sweep it under the rug. So that's why I brought up this sad story. I didn't want to bring anybody down, but just thought everybody...
That's too late now.
Yeah, just thought everybody should know what's really going on out there. I could throw a rock from my house and hit Santa Ana. That's how close it is.
So you could have even heard her scream.
Okay.
That's kind of eerie.
It may not be that close, but it's close. It's just right up the street, basically. Okay, so that brought everybody down a little bit. How about we do something at the end here to perk everybody up?
It's time for Weird News.
I like weird news.
Well, good. So do I. And I just happen to have some. Now,
well, you've had some weird news in the past. It was a little bit on the nauseating side. Is this going to be nauseating or just funny?
I hope it's just funny.
Good.
Do you like asparagus?
I love asparagus.
Me too. Well, a fortune teller who correctly predicted Brexit using asparagus has revealed her hot tips for 2018, including Theresa May being ousted as Prime Minister.
Eat more asparagus.
Jemima Packington, 61, is the world's only asparamancer and claims she can peer into the future by tossing the in the air and interpreting how the spears land. She predicts that 2018 will see the U.S. bring the world to the brink of serious conflict and the bursting of the Bitcoin bubble, which is what we were talking about in that China story. She also believes there will be earthquakes and volcanic eruptions over the next 12 months, but there may be a record number of royal births. It's also bad news for Theresa May as Jemima, I can't get over her name, Jemima, predicts that she will be replaced as the Prime Minister. Some of her other predictions: the troubles of the Far Eastern Stock Exchange will resolve themselves and order will be restored. Harmony in the Middle East will be a struggle to achieve, but the refugee crisis will ease. The agreement on climate change made in Paris will just be ignored, and the British public will rebel against their nanny state.
So she come up with the obvious by playing with her food.
Yes, she did.
Because she almost made a solid prediction nowhere in there.
Well, they said that she called Brexit, so you never know.
Well, did you read what she said about Brexit?
What, that it would happen?
She probably said something along the lines of maybe somebody in the Economic Union will pull out. Oh. And so she's right. Oh, damn. Just punched the hell out of my... Anyway, she's right.
Dong.
Just flailing my arms around here and just punching my equipment here.
Well, she's like any of these other soothsayers. She just makes random things that could possibly happen, and people believe what they want to believe.
Yep, and then claim that she definitively said this was going to happen. Bull crap. Okay, that's all I got to say.
Well, since we are on British women, a 41-year-old British woman who has been diagnosed with Crohn's disease and dealt with severe bowel issues for 6 years found out the root of her pain was a Heinz ketchup packet.
Wow. Just wow. She wanted that burger so fast.
She was diagnosed with Crohn's disease after complaining of acute abdominal pain and bloating lasting up to 3 days. The standard treatment was no help to her, so doctors had to operate. During the surgery, they discovered an inflamed mass piercing in the woman's small intestine. That turned out to be 2 pieces of packaging bearing the Heinz logo. After the packet was removed, the woman's pain went away immediately.
Kerry is still hurting people even though he didn't become president.
Oh, yes. A very nice Kerry reference.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The British Medical Journal said, to our knowledge, this is the first report of a synthetic plastic packaging causing ileocacal junctional perforation mimicking Crohn's disease. So if you got Crohn's disease, maybe you ate a ketchup packet.
Do you remember that episode of House where the gypsy was having abdominal problems? And, of course, 55 minutes into the show, they figure out the problem was a toothpick that was piercing through the intestines.
I do not remember that.
And they couldn't pick it up on the x-rays or anything, of course, because, well, it's wood.
Yep.
So that just reminded me of that. So, never mind.
I'm guessing House was really surly the entire time.
How'd you know? Very sarcastic, even.
Just taking a guess.
You did see that episode.
Then we'll move over to good old California. Police officers had to go to a house in Ukiah on Christmas Eve after 2 relatives got into a fight over weed.
No way. No, because that couldn't. No, that is a lie. It couldn't happen because everybody tells me that stoners never get in a fight and they never have accidents, car accidents.
Oh, well, then maybe this is a story that lies.
It's a fake news.
Well, this was Christmas Eve, so it hadn't been legal yet for weed because that wasn't until January 1st.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, the fight over weed resulted in a piece of one of the man's ears being bitten off. The
bunchies and everything.
Yes, he did. The 35-year-old victim had fresh blood running down his face and was taken right away to a hospital for treatment. Suspect Samuel Paul Galindo had been drinking with his relative when they got into an argument about the pot. After biting part of the victim's ear off, Galindo then grabbed a cylindrical object and held it in his fist and tried to punch the victim. Galindo continued to chase him and threaten his life. The victim tried to hide in a car, but Galindo repeatedly punched the window. He was arrested on scene without incident, according to police. Galindo was charged with mayhem, assault with a dangerous weapon, criminal threats, and violating parole. Now, what I want to know is, why was he not charged with cannibalism?
What's the percentage of the body you have to eat before you can be charged with that?
I'm not quite sure, but apparently an earlobe is not enough.
Maybe it's an earlobe and, well, the whole ear.
Well, Mike Tyson should have got charged then.
Yeah. If you eat the whole ear, that shows intent that you're going to eat the rest of the body.
And I don't really want to make fun of anybody here, but the mugshot of this guy that did this, he was a big boy. So taking a chunk of the ear is not surprising to me.
Does he look crazy?
He looks homeless.
Wow. So he was a Bernie Sanders supporter.
Probably. Well, yeah, that's all we have for the weird news.
Well, that's all I have. Now, if I hadn't been for, the first time was Christmas, and the second week is because I was having issues. Of course, everybody knows that. I was having issues like getting the connection. It just got really butt ugly, but it seems to be good now.
Yeah.
So that's good. But I had some stuff lined up, and of course I got frustrated after a week and a half, and I deleted everything. But it's something to do with. I remember one of the things. Speaking of California, something about your textbooks, school textbooks. They would not be allowed to be used unless they said glowing things about homosexuals and transgender people.
You mean the LGBTQTYX3-4 ABCDs?
Hike 1, Hike 2, yes.
I don't know what to say about that. I don't have any kids in school, so.
Well, it was in the news. Elsewise, I wouldn't have known anything about it over here. But something to do with some, what do you call that? Not a horse and buggy, but when you go inside and the driver's sitting up on top and
Stagecoach.
Yes, some famous stagecoach driver. There was actually a woman who masqueraded through life as a man. Allegedly. Now, it's just several people that they said, this person over here we figure was a homosexual because of the way he sat or whatever. But your state over there is nuts.
Are you surprised?
No, but it's just like every time I turn on anything or read anything, I don't see how anybody in California is still there that's sane.
Hey, before you want to start calling my state nuts, which it is, so I can't hold you on that, but the guy that beat Roy Moore just got sworn into office, and his gay son was handing out hors d'oeuvres. I saw a headline that said that. So Alabama's not that far behind us.
Well, stop it. The only reason why Doug Jones won was because the establishment, everybody piled up on Roy Moore. We were going to have a firebrand of a constitutionalist up there, buddy. Let me tell you something.
Well,
I was waiting for that day. For years, I've been waiting for Roy Moore to finally storm the gates of D.C.
That's right. We'll get it one of these days.
I don't know. Well, yeah. Now I'm waiting for Tommy Amison to go to the House. What are they going to attack Tommy Amison too?
They probably will, but hopefully he can fight him off.
Well, I'm pretty sure he could. But, this is insane. Anyway, yeah, we're in deep doo-doo over here and over there. As a matter of fact, I can't see a place where we're not in deep doo-doo.
The whole darn world's going crazy.
It is. Dogs are meowing, cats are barking, cattle are raped, and people are stampeded. So the only thing I can think of is that we're pretty much doomed.
So, drink up!
Y'all have a good night up there if you can.
I could escape this feeling with my China girl.